With the chronic mind, and I'll find that we are left hanging alone here. All the sovereign citizens work in the court system, yeah. Someone didn't have a song prepared, so now he's singing out his little Greek ass. And here's a video about massive court corruption, in case you don't see it on the screen written real big. All right. Yeah, ill-prepared. It's not easy to think of a different song every day. And if you could even tell what song I was trying to sing there at the beginning, you're a huge fan of that band, that's for sure. Anyway, the reason I'm going to call this video Sovereign Citizens in Action, or Sovereign Citizens Hard at Work, is because you're going to see the sovereign citizens live and operate within the court system. Judges have sovereign immunity, literally. If you try to file a case or a lawsuit against a judge, the first thing he'll do or she'll do is file a motion to dismiss for sovereign immunity. And then the police have qualified immunity, which is Harlow versus Fitzgerald, a court decision from decades ago that basically says they can do whatever they want in the course of their duty, because if they do happen to kill somebody, it'll be an accident and we'll cover for them for decades to come. Anyway, this gentleman here, who's the defendant, shows up to court at about 9:07. Court was supposed to start at 9. His defense attorney, I guess he has two defense attorneys, for whatever reason don't like this guy, and they decided to conspire against him, start the court case 15 minutes earlier than the cases are scheduled to start, and then lock him up, literally abduct him from the courtroom when he's there, lie about him being late several times, on and on and on. I'm going to be interrupting this one because these sovereign citizens in this courtroom, the judge, the prosecutor, the defense attorneys, and the cop, they're all disgusting. This is disgusting. And if you don't know who ASD Docs is, you should, because he does in-depth stuff. This guy went to all the news outlets, the mainstream media news outlets. They didn't want nothing to do with this. But Andre Shouldn't Drink, ASD Docs documentaries, did cover it. He did a fantastic job. Here we go.
Let's go and get a warrant.
So this defense attorney is telling the other defense attorney to call the case early so they can get a warrant and get their client arrested. The guy that they're supposed to be defending.
8:40 a.m. Heather Chestnut points at the clock on the wall. Note that court hearings and her client, Mr. Sanchez, are not scheduled to start until 9 a.m.
Is it time? Like 8:45. 4 minutes. 8:45.
The Travis case.
Let's call him before you get involved in talking to somebody.
Well, I mean, we've got.
Good morning, Your Honor.
So they're calling the case 15 minutes early because he's not there, and they want to get him locked up.
You ready? Good.
His own attorneys, mind you, his own attorneys, his defense attorneys who are supposed to be defending him.
8:45 a.m. Right on cue. Prosecutor Nathaniel Swift walks up to go on record and falsely accuse Mr. Sanchez of frequently missed court hearings and tardiness.
Thank you. That's all I'm ready on for now.
Thanks. Sanchez.
And, Your Honor, Mr. Moritz is here today. We're ready on Mr. Sanchez. 82, State of Utah versus Sanchez.
He always comes in late. Meanwhile, they're starting this hearing 15 minutes early.
Excuse me.
He's not present, Your Honor.
And you don't expect him? Or?
Judge Katie Bernards Goodman just asked that very important question because it's only 8:45 a.m. and she's very aware that court proceedings do not start until 9 a.m.
I'm sorry?
And you're not expecting him to come?
Well, I always expect him, although last time he was not here, and it was only after my secretary called him that he remembered to come. So
now he's making statements that are against his own client.
Court records indicate Mr. Sanchez was present with Heather Chestnut on previous court hearings, which was ironically rescheduled by Judge Bernard Goodman due to Mr. Torrance being absent, not Sanchez.
So the lawyer lying right now, the sovereign that's lying right now, is the one who was late, and he's blaming his own client for it. And here's another lie. Mr. Sanchez has a history of coming in very late. Another lie.
Sanchez has a history of coming in very late.
Out of dozens of court hearings, court records show Mr. Sanchez had been late once and missed just one court date. Note, this case has been active for more than 5 years due to the ineffective assistance from defense attorneys Heather Chestnut and Daniel Torrance.
He has missed a few altogether.
So bench warrant?
After prosecutor Nathaniel
So immediately you lock him in a cage? Even though court hasn't started yet.
Swift lied to the court, he then proceeds to ask for a warrant against Mr. Sanchez. All the while, court proceedings are not to start for another 15 minutes.
I'd ask for a warrant, and what we have the problem for is I don't intend on setting this. I don't want to set it for trial until we square away the discovery type issues and stuff, and so he needs to be here for that.
All right, we'll set a bench warrant, $15,000 cash, commenced bond forfeiture.
thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
You see the way she looked at him? Let's go back 5 seconds. Now look at the way the one defense attorney looks at the other. They know they just probably ruined this guy's life, and they're his attorneys.
In cash, commenced bond forfeiture.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have this morning. If I could be excused.
We're going to take him into custody. Hey, Steve?
Oh, that's hilarious. Isn't that hilarious? Man, sovereign citizens, they just don't care, do they? Lock people up, don't follow the law, start cases early, set up their own client. And how dare anyone from the government call an American a sovereign citizen when in fact they're textbook by dictionary definition sovereign from the rest of us? You're watching it with your own eyes.
At 9:05 a.m., there's an overcrowded courtroom. People are standing between the courtroom doors and waiting outside for seats to become available. At 9:07 a.m., Mr. Sanchez walks in wearing a white collared shirt and gray pants. Bailiff Steve Adams appears to inform Judge Bernard Goodman of his arrival.
Oh, State of Utah versus Bradford.
So 9:07 a.m., they know he's there. In plain view.
At 9:17 a.m., Mr. Sanchez approaches Heather Chestnut. She would inform Sanchez that a warrant had been issued for his arrest and instructed him to wait until the judge called his case again. Prosecutor Nathaniel Swift sees Mr. Sanchez speaking to Miss Chestnut at 9:17 a.m.
This is very important, this timing. So they know he's there for sure 100% at 9:17 and probably in fact knew he was there at 9:07.
It's now 10:43 a.m. It takes prosecutor Nathaniel Swift about an hour and a half before he finally decides to inform Judge Bernard Goodman that Mr. Sanchez is waiting between the doors. Now,
even though he knew he was there the whole time, over an hour before that, he knew he was there.
mind you, Mr. Sanchez has been seen in clear view of the judge, the clerks, the bailiff, his attorneys, and the prosecutor for, again, the past hour and 36 minutes. Mr. Sanchez can now be seen on his phone, unsuccessfully attempting to reach his defense attorney, Daniel Torrance.
Mr. Sanchez is standing in the lobby there.
Was that one we've already called
Yeah.
and issued a warrant because he's always late or not showing up?
Because you believed a third-party hearsay lie, and now you're part of the crime you're about to actuate here?
And we're going to execute the warrant. So we'll see if he comes in here, calls his case.
It's hilarious that you ruin people's lives for a living, and that we have to pay you to do it under threat. This is unbelievable right here. They do it on camera.
Joe's probably calling his attorney frantically out there. Because he wants it executed. He's not going to come save him, I'll bet you.
Yeah, his defense attorney's the one that set him up, and you're letting it happen, Judge. And you're part of the illegal act. You're a part of it. You're an accomplice.
So we're going to execute the warrant. But he's out there, probably waiting on his attorney or something.
This is funny to them.
He's good at what he does. He doesn't ask until he's between him and the door.
So there they kidnap him in the hallway.
At 10:47 a.m., the blatant attempt to cover up their tracks begins. They allegedly falsify court records and justify the unlawful arrest.
Watch this crap.
Sometime after 9 o'clock.
Sometime after 9 o'clock, huh?
But this isn't a social event.
Just come back with 38 minutes late.
Another lie by the sovereign citizen prosecutor.
So maybe we should call it so that we can document what time he came in. Yeah. State of Utah versus Sanchez.
So now they're going to call the case an hour and 43 minutes, an hour and 35 minutes after he got there, and claim that he just got there. These people are sick, sick, sick.
Yes.
Judge Katie Bernards Goodman and prosecutor Nathaniel Swift go on record to deliberately lie about the time Mr. Sanchez arrived at court.
Okay, Mr. Sanchez, I just want to make sure we see you before you go back. Your case was already called this morning. We just saw you arrive about 10 minutes ago, which would have been a quarter to 11.
I've been here since 9:08.
Well, you did not come to our courtroom until a quarter to 11. This is
What? Does she not think this is on record, or does she just commit these crimes on a regular basis and has gotten so used to being able to get away with her crimes as a judge that she just does this and completely lies. Wait till you see what happens.
The third time you have either missed or been hours late. So we issued a bench
Another lie.
warrant for you hours ago. We're going to execute on it this time. I believe we told you last time if you were late, you're going to go into custody.
I
So,
spoke with Heather at 9:17.
Okay.
I was here earlier.
Judge Katie Bernards Goodman ignores Mr. Sanchez's statement, and his defense attorney Heather J. Chestnut remains silent.
Isn't that amazing? I spoke to her at 9:17. It's on your cameras. It's on audio. And they just remain silent. That's just like cops. When you corner them, they either say, okay, or they just go completely silent because they know what they're doing is criminal.
Your Honor, I saw the defendant here. When I first saw him, I recognized him. I looked at the clock. It was 9:38.
Another lie by the prosecuting sovereign citizen.
This is when I saw him here. I'll note for the record that his attorney is the one that called the case, and we've had this conversation at least 3.
Yeah, his attorney's the one that called the case 15 minutes early and conspired with this other attorney here to get him locked up on record, on video. So if this was a country that was like fair and balanced, all these people would be arrested for conspiracy and committing felonies, right? The 2 defense attorneys, the bailiff, everyone who saw the guy, the prosecutor, they'd all go to jail, right?
Could I just know what time the warrant was issued? What time did my attorney leave?
you can ask your attorney about that, but we didn't issue it until after 9.
Another lie.
And you're here way after that.
When I created the video, I tried to get some media attention to it. I contacted many local news stations, many local reporters and journalists. Nobody wanted to cover the case. Everybody,
Because the media and the government work hand in hand with each other. The mainstream media, that is. Anything that goes off the narrative and that's reality like this, they'll never cover stuff like this. It exposes government for who they are.
refused, and the only thing that did happen was that one of the news stations or reporters that I contacted, they got in contact with the judge and showed them the video that I had posted on YouTube, and based on that, the judge recused herself, removed herself from the case. I didn't get any media attention from it, but at least I got a new.
So that's all that happened. All them people lied on the record, conspired against this guy. There's probably 20 felonies were committed by these sovereign citizens running the courtroom, and nothing happened to anybody. The media didn't care that this corruption goes on in their town. And when she was confronted with her own felonies, the judge just took herself off the case, and everything should be fine now, right? This is for all you morons who say, hey, man, just take it to court. Hey, just take it to court. Welcome to the American court system. Just take it to court. You're looking at it right here. And don't say this is just one example, because there's hundreds of them just on YouTube. And if you just go sit in a courtroom, you can see it for yourself. All right. Everyone subscribe to ASD Docs. This is the kind of stuff he does, and he does it very well. I really like his work, even when he has people on I disagree with. Anyway, peace, chicken grease. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my other channels, John Felix, spelled phonetically, Felix, and John Felix Presents. If I could build that channel, maybe making a little side income, I could just do whatever the F I want with this one. You know what I mean? Costs, just go full out and won't need to monetize this one. That's the goal. Monetize John Felix Presents and let this one be free-flowing, you know, won't have to say F and S on my C. I could actually say the words. All right, everyone. Thanks. Peace. Bye.